Hello everyone. Here I'm going to share some ideas that are very useful to improve the ways the mind makes decisions. You see, the ancient Greeks already discovered these ideas. They've passed it down, but we forgot it over time. By the time it was rediscovered, it had lost all meaning. This is what we now call virtue ethics, closely related to Stoicism and its pursuit of the four virtues of wisdom, justice, temperance, and courage. They are in reality four distinct cognitive abilities. Every insight, every mistake, every innovation you've seen can be traced back to one of them. This is a cognitive framework called the theory of virtue. It is based on the classic virtues of wisdom, justice, temperance, and courage, yet it doesn't define them as traits, but as thinking tools, each one tied to a different dimension of time. Wisdom lets you see clearly in the present, makes sense of the past, calibrates the harmony from the future. Courage down, adapts through constant change. Together, they form a recursive loop, a decision engine. Train these four faculties and your mind becomes a self-upgrading system. This video gives you 4 cognitive science books. Each one sharpens one of these core abilities. They aren't self-help manuals, but tools for cognitive engineering. These 4 books can literally upgrade your brain. They teach the 4 abilities behind every great decision: clarity, fairness, foresight, adaptability. Let's begin. Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Wisdom is not about knowing more. It's about understanding when to stop trusting what you know. Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow breaks your mind in 2. System 1, fast, intuitive, automatic. System 2, slow, analytical, deliberate. System 1 is what jumps to conclusions. System 2 is what questions them. Most of the time we run on System 1. We feel right, but we're often wrong. Kahneman says, our comforting conviction that the world makes sense rests on a secure foundation, our almost unlimited ability to ignore our ignorance. Wisdom, in theory of virtue, is the ability to slow down, to stop acting on what feels right and ask, is this actually true? It means holding 2 ideas in mind. That your first thought might be wrong. That you want to understanding something takes more than information. It takes clarity. The wise aren't the ones who know everything. They're the ones who pause before they assume. The Pattern Seekers by Simon Baron-Cohen. Justice isn't about punishment or reward. In theory of virtue, it's about pattern recognition, understanding the past. Simon Baron-Cohen argues that what makes humans unique isn't just emotion, it's logic. We think in if and then patterns. If I press this button, then the door opens. He calls this systemizing, and it's the engine behind invention, and also fair judgment. No other species has got this kind of capacity for looking for these logical patterns. Justice, in this sense, is the ability to learn from experience. It's recognizing the real rules of a situation, not the imagined ones. Pattern-seeking minds find order in chaos, but only if they look objectively. Justice is the virtue of the scientific method, letting the data speak, even when you'd rather it didn't. Thinking in Systems by Donella Meadows. Temperance is the virtue of foresight. It's what keeps you from making short-term moves that destroy long-term balance. Donella Meadows' Thinking in Systems teaches us one essential truth. We live inside invisible structures, from diets to economics, from ecosystems to organizations. Our actions ripple. What you do today shapes what happens months or years from now. Systems thinking is about seeing those connections, understanding how cause and effect spiral, reinforce, or cancel each other. Temperance isn't about restraint for its own sake. It's about understanding the shape of the future and acting accordingly. The behavior of a system cannot be known just by knowing the elements of which the system is made. In theory of virtue, temperance is strategic calibration. It's anticipating disharmony before it arrives. It's not reacting, it's objective anticipation. When you think in systems, you don't just make good decisions. You make decisions will be good later.
The Meme Machine by Susan Blackmore. We don't live in solitary. We live within a culture. And that culture is made of memes. Ideas that spread, evolve, and compete for attention. Susan Blackmore's The Meme Machine explains how our thoughts aren't just ours. They're means we've absorbed, repeated, and passed on. Courage in Theory of Virtue is the ability to resist bad means, to question popular beliefs, to stop repeating what doesn't make sense. We, alone on Earth, can rebel against the tyranny of the selfish replicators. Memes are contagious, but you don't have to be infected. Courage is the faculty that lets you adapt, update, and even invent new ideas when the old ones fail. This kind of courage doesn't look loud. It looks calm, quiet, in control. The courage to say, I will think for myself. Here's the secret. These virtues aren't isolated. They work in a cycle. Justice learns from the past, temperance projects into the future, Palurge lets recognize lasting consequences, and wisdom reflects on those to make the best decisions. And then you loop again, each decision more refined, more intelligent. This is Theory of Virtue. It's a theory about being good, by the means of how to think better. With these 4 books, they can train this cycle. If you let them, they'll make you intellectually dangerous. Subscribe for more. Feel free to share this and stay calibrated.